Yeah.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Ali's World of Finance. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. We've got something kind of cool to talk about today. We're going to be talking about Fitbit Stock. And the reason I'm doing this video is because one of the viewers actually asked me to do an analysis video on Fitbit. So if there's any stock that you guys want to analyze, make sure you let me know. If anything, just try to make sure that it's like at least a little bit of a trendy stock. So then that way, like, people will actually watch the video. Because if it's a stock nobody's heard of, then you might be the only person watching it. But anyway, so we're going to talk about Fitbit today. We're going to look at their business, some of their products, the market that they're in, some of their competition. We're going to look at their balance sheet and their performance and some of their stock numbers. But before we get started, I just want to give you guys the results of the last poll question that we had, which was which stock do you like more, AMD or Nvidia? And so we have a total of 10 votes. That's including myself. I'm not including my girlfriend in it, but just including myself. And I like AMD a little bit more. I'm bullish on Nvidia as well, and I like what they're doing with this Nintendo Switch and with autonomous driving and stuff like that. But I'm just at the moment, I think there's a little bit more potential with AMD, so my vote goes to AMD. But we have a total of 10 votes here. 6 of them goes to AMD, 4 of them go to Nvidia, and if you take my vote out of it, you would have 5 for AMD and 4 for Nvidia, so it's actually very close. But this was kind of cool, so 60% for AMD, 40% for Nvidia, and this is kind of a nice way of having our own kind of little consensus rating system for a lot of the stocks that we like. And this way, I'm sure a lot of you are very well educated. You're watching stock related videos, so we're all very well educated in this area. And so this is kind of a cool way just to get feedback on our own stocks and stuff. So anyway, that was AMD versus Nvidia. The next poll question now, so starting with this video, is going to be which is your favorite bank stock? I'll let you know right now, my favorite is JP Morgan Chase. And I like them because they've just had strong performance in history. And even when we've gone through tough economic times, the U.S. has asked JP Morgan Chase for help and helping with other banks and stuff like that. And JP Morgan Chase, they just announced that they were increasing their dividend, and I believe Jim Cramer said that they should raise their price target to over 100. So just a lot of really good things for Chase. So I like them as a solid pick. I use them to diversify my portfolio and just having a nice financial stock. But what is your favorite bank stock? Just leave a comment. You can give a reason why, or you can just say the name of the bank. And a lot of people like Bank of America or Wells Fargo, whatever, but just say the name of the bank, and then I will tally them up, and then I'll have it in the next video. I'll have the results for that. So anyway, so that's that poll question. So now let's start looking at Fitbit. Okay, so looking at Fitbit's company overview here. So Fitbit is a provider of health and fitness devices. The company's platform combines connected health and fitness devices with software and services, including an online dashboard and mobile applications, data analytics, motivational and social tools, personalized insight and virtual coaching through customized fitness plans and interactive workouts. It offers various fitness devices, including Fitbit Zip, Fitbit One, Fitbit Flex, Fitbit Flex 2, Fitbit Charge 2, Fitbit Blaze, Fitbit Charge HR, Fitbit Surge, Fitbit Accessories, and Aria. It's a mouthful. Okay, so its platform includes wearable connected health and fitness trackers, which are wrist-based and clippable devices that automatically track users' daily steps, calories burned, distance traveled, and active minutes, and displays real-time feedback. Its trackers also measure sleep duration and quality, and its products track heart rate and global positioning system-based information. It also offers a wireless fidelity connected scale. Okay, so that's their business. Now right off the bat, I see a problem with that. Many of you probably see it too, but they have too many products. Okay, and so a lot of critics of Fitbit have mentioned this in the past. They have too many products. Now, you could say, some of these products, they're reiterations or they're upgrades or improvements on older products. So you can't really say that Fitbit Flex and Fitbit Flex 2 are like two products. You can't really say that. If someone's in the market for this type of device, they're going to look at the Fitbit Flex 2. They're not going to be wasting time researching the first one, right? They'll look at the second one. But even if you take out all those reiterations and stuff like that, you still have, I'm counting around 7 products. So it's still too many products in my opinion. And as someone so let's say that I'm someone that's in the market for a health-related wearable, right? So I'm an ideal customer for Fitbit. Well, if I go onto Amazon and I want to search Fitbit, right? I want to see what Fitbit offers. and I type in Fitbit, and all these different products come up. Like, which one am I going to choose? I'm going to have to waste time researching all these different products just to find the one that actually appeals to me. Now, having variety and having choice, I usually consider that a good thing. But in this case, where it comes to like technology and these type of devices, I think every company should kind of just have like their flagship and then maybe one other option, but not this many. It's just too many options. When you think about it, Apple is very simple. The Apple Watch. Maybe they'll have a sport edition or some other kind of edition, but it's really just that main product of the Apple Watch. It's very simple to research and understand. When it comes to Android, with Android Wear, right? So Google Android Wear. Well, that market is heavily saturated, of course, and there's tons of different companies and stuff like that. But each company really only has about one product. Right now, I'm wearing the Moto 360 second generation. Now, there is the Moto 360 Sport Edition, but it's the Moto 360. I mean, it's kind of obvious to research and understand because it's just one product from Motorola. Huawei will have the Huawei watch, I believe. LG, I think, had the LG G watch. So they kind of just have one product. Maybe they'll have a side one or maybe one or two side ones, but not, I mean, I'm counting almost like around 7 products here. It's just too many. So in my opinion, just too many. That's one problem that I see with it. And that can be subjective, of course, but in my opinion, I kind of see it that way. So anyway, now they are working on this to a degree. So they're working on a smartwatch, a premium flagship smartwatch. Okay, so they're working on one. It's looking like it may get released in the fall. So let's take a look at this because this is kind of a big deal. This may be what actually saves Fitbit as long as they can market it correctly. So let's take a look at it. So this in 2016, Fitbit acquired 2 smartwatch makers, Pebble and Vector. And that's going to hopefully help them build this new premium smartwatch. Now, some pictures I've leaked. I'm going to put them up right now for you guys to look at. CEO James Park, in January, he said, "We believe we are uniquely positioned to succeed in delivering what consumers are looking for in a smartwatch. Stylish, well-designed devices that combine the right general purpose functionality with a focus on health and fitness." Okay, that sounds good. When looking at some of the rumors and some of the observations that we can make, looking at a report here from wearable.com, they're talking about some leaks here, and they have some inside sources from Pebble that was acquired by Fitbit. So let's talk about this. Now, price, it looks like it's going to be around $300. That is pretty damn expensive, guys. Somewhat to be expected. It's going to be a flagship premium wearable smartwatch, so kind of expected, but when you're talking $300, you're competing with some of the top of the line watches. So you're going to have to expect, now you can't really make the argument anymore like, oh, Apple Watch is in a different level. You can't really make that argument anymore. Now you're talking $300. You know, Apple Watch is going to be a competitor now. Now you're looking at all the premium Android smartwatches. They're all going to be competitors now. $300 is a considerable amount of money. You could buy an Xbox with, you know, and still have some change left over. So anyway, it's a considerable amount of money. Okay, release date. It's going to be this fall. It's going to have GPS functionality. Good. You need to have that. NFC functionality. Good. You need to have that. Streaming and storing music. Good. You need to have that. But there's an exception here. It's only going to offer Pandora, according to this leak. And they were working on a deal with Spotify, but it didn't go through. So now it looks like it's just going to be Pandora. That's a problem. I think you definitely want to have Spotify on there. Now, but we'll talk a little more about that in a second. So, possible waterproofing. They're still working on it. If you can get it, that'd be great. Because wearable device, washing hands, stuff like that, you gotta have waterproof in my opinion. So that would be great if they can get it. They're still working on it. Okay, buttons on the side. We can see in the pictures that there's buttons on the side. But I still definitely expect there to be a touchscreen. If there's not a touchscreen, huge disappointment in my opinion. Gotta have a touchscreen on a smartwatch. If you're gonna call yourself a premium smartwatch, you gotta have that. Okay, 4-day battery life is what they're advertising. That sounds great. 4 days, absolutely. That sounds really great. And we can see in the pictures that there wasn't a lot of color being shown off in these pictures on the screen. So maybe that's a way that they can kind of conserve battery. So that's good. And I heard some rumors that it was going to be an AMOLED screen, which will also help with battery life, because in AMOLED you get true black. I think all the pixels actually turn off, so that saves battery. Then we're also talking weather functionality. That's kind of obvious. Heart rate functionality, you gotta have that. Fitbit, it's to be expected, so good. And exercise tracking, Fitbit should be very good in that area, so that's gonna be excellent in my opinion too. Okay, Another thing that they're working on is a full-fledged Fitbit app store to launch alongside with the smartwatch. So they want to build up an app store. Apparently, from my understanding, it's from scratch. So from my understanding, they're not really using like Android Wear or the Google Play Store. Apparently, they're making their own app store, which sounds kind of crazy to me. And I would just use like Android Wear and Google Play apps, but apparently they want to build their own. So let's look at that. So in January, the CEO said that they want to build an app store as soon as possible. And when looking at these Pebble sources on this report, so Pebble sources talking about the acquisition, they said it wasn't, hey, we really like what you're doing, we want to build a better watch with our expertise. It was more, no, we just want an SDK, software development kit. We were asking, why are they buying us? Their answers, SDKs and apps and developers. So it looks like they were really buying out Pebble so that they could get their developers, help them build up this app store and build these apps. Okay, so I guess that's a good thing. They need that, right? If they're going to do it. I don't really think they should be building their own app store, but that's what they're going to do. But they do need to build their own apps. Okay, absolutely. They need to build their own apps. So that's a good thing. So they do have to do that. Okay, couple problems here though. Now you're going up against Apple Store, Google Store, Android Wear, stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of competition there. And there are a lot of reports saying that they're struggling building this app store and that the app store won't even be available at launch of the smartwatch. So the smartwatch is in fall. Apparently they're saying that they're having difficulty getting it ready by that time. So that's not good. If they release this smartwatch without the app store, that's going to hurt them because reviews are going to come out. They're going to say that there's not a lot of apps, not a lot of functionality, and that's going to hurt their sales. Okay, so that's a bad thing. So I'm not liking that. Okay, now it's time to talk about Fitbit stock numbers. So looking at Fitbit stock, their price per share is at $5.24. Their 52-week low was last month. I believe it was the lowest in history actually at $4.90. And then their 52-week high was at $17.18. That was in September of last year. So they've definitely dropped a considerable amount. Looking at their performance, 5-day performance down 1.32%. 1 month performance in the green at 1.75%. Excuse me. 3 month performance down almost 5%. Year to date down almost 30%. 1 year performance down over 60%. Very significant. Okay, looking at market watch ratings here, we've got a total of 19 ratings. Average recommendation is hold. Average target price is $7.08, so a little bit above what they're at right now, so that's a good thing. And when looking at these ratings here, we've got 3 buy, 2 overweight, 12 hold, 1 underweight, and 1 sell. So average is hold. There's a lot in the hold, but there's a few in the buy and overweight, and only a couple in sell and underweight. Okay, looking at Nasdaq.com ratings, we've got 2 strong buy, 1 buy, 13 hold, 1 underperform, and 0 on sell. So that's kind of a good thing too. A lot on hold, but almost nothing in sell and only 1 underperform. Okay, looking at their balance sheet. So looking at their last quarter here, so they're basically their March quarter, first quarter, however you want to call it. Their cash and cash equivalents is at $374 million. Okay, their total, let's see here, total assets. Okay, so total, looking at short-term, long-term investments, all their assets and cash, it's at $1.5 billion. And then looking at liabilities here, we've got 0 short-term debt, 0 long-term debt, and we've got total liabilities at $573 million. Okay, so 0 debt and a cash of $374 million, very good. And then we've got total liabilities at around 500 million, and then we've got total assets at around 1.5 billion. So you're talking about a 3-to-1 ratio in favor of assets. Okay, so a pretty good balance sheet actually, a pretty good balance sheet. And this can make them more attractive as a buyout candidate. So now other companies might potentially want to buy them out, things like that. They may pay a premium price. So if you're investing in Fitbit, you may actually want to be acquired and you may actually make some profit there that way. So that's kind of another outlet that we could look at. But anyway, balance sheet, pretty good. Not bad balance sheet. Okay, EPS surprise. Looking at their surprise percentages. For the March quarter, 0% surprise, so basically even. December quarter, negative 3% surprise. September quarter, positive almost 20% surprise. And then June quarter, positive 75% surprise. So very good there. So pretty good year in 2016, but their last quarter looks like they really struggled there. But we've got some more. We've got some more numbers to cover, so don't think that they're doing too good yet. We've got some other stuff. So, looking at their income statement here. Okay, so again, the March quarter total revenue, 200, almost 300 million. Cost of revenue almost at 200 million. So you've got a gross profit of a little more than 100 million, 120, around 120 million gross profit. Okay, but looking at their net income, you can see that their operating income was negative at negative 91 million. Their net income negative 60 million. Not good. Okay, so not good there. And then we're looking at sales in 2017. Fitbit expects, so some expectations. Fitbit expects sales to be in the range of 1.5 billion to 1.7 billion, and that represents a 26% year-over-year decline. Not a good thing. But Fitbit has said that 2017 is a transition year. Okay, so, but that's kind of their excuse for it. Fitbit also expects to perform at a loss with a non-GAAP net loss per share in the range of negative 44 cents to negative 22 cents. So not good stuff. Okay, looking at operating expense, in 2016, operating expense almost doubled from 2015. So not good. And revenue only increased by 17%. So not good. So bad numbers here. And when looking at margins, in 2016, they talked about their decrease in gross margins and the excuses why. So here are their excuses. They said it's because of warranty claims on legacy products. Sorry, let me get a drink of water. Sorry about that. Okay, so their excuses for their decreasing gross margins. Warranty claims on legacy products. So I guess kind of a bad thing, kind of a good thing. They're honoring their warranties, right? But that also means that some of their products were suffering, so warranty stuff. Okay, not a big deal. Liabilities to contract manufacturers for excess components. That's a bad thing. You don't want to have that. Increase in rebates and promotions to retailers, kind of acceptable. That's to be expected, I guess. And accelerated depreciation of manufacturing and tooling equipment. I guess that's also to be expected. That can happen. Okay, so numbers overall, not too good, to be honest. We looked at some of those numbers and they weren't really that good. So now let's take a look at my overall opinion. So my overall opinion on Fitbit. I think that they made some good moves in acquiring Pebble and Vector. That's going to help them build this smartwatch. I think that this smartwatch is going to be key to them having any success. I think that their brand is declining. When I look at average people, I don't really see people talking about Fitbit very much. And Fitbit has kind of been the standard in terms of health, wearables, and accessories. So they really need to keep their brand up there. And this is kind of their last shot. I mean, if this upcoming smartwatch is a failure, then I really think that it could be game over for Fitbit. So I really think that they need to have success. In my opinion, I don't really think that this smartwatch is going to be successful, to be honest. I think that they're struggling with the App Store, which is going to hurt them. And reviews are going to come out and they're not going to be good because of that, and sales are going to suffer because of that. And I think that will end up hurting them. So I don't like that. I think that they have a good balance sheet, so they could be a good acquisition target. So that makes them a little more attractive in that sense. I think that they need to diversify. They're a little too. They have like all their eggs in one basket. I mean, they're just doing these like health-related wearables, unless there's something else that I'm not aware of. I mean, you guys can educate me on that, but. As far as I can tell, it doesn't really look like they're doing too many things. And they're saying that this is a transition year, but transition into what? I mean, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of stuff coming from them. They have talked a lot about healthcare related stuff, but it was a lot of like connected healthcare. So I don't know what connected healthcare means. Does that mean like just smartwatches and things that connect wirelessly? I mean, that's still kind of the same thing that they've been doing. So I don't know. I'm not too optimistic with Fitbit, to be honest. But their price is really low, and if this really is a transition year and they start to diversify a little bit and the smartwatch comes out and it's actually a hit, then we could see some good stuff coming out from Fitbit and some good results in their stock. Some other things to take note of, I was reading some reports that were saying that a lot of their newer devices, like when they actually like launch newer devices, they account for, I think it was like around 80%. I should have had this up and ready, but I think it was around 80% or something. So they sell a lot, but that a lot of their sales also come from existing customers. And when those existing customers start to die off, who's going to be buying their products? Because I don't really think a lot of new potential buyers are going to be running out to buy a $300 smartwatch from Fitbit, which people aren't really talking about. Like when you have a smartwatch or something, you kind of want to show it off. And if somebody says, oh, what watch is that? Like, I don't know if you want to say it's a $300 Fitbit. Like, I don't know how attractive that sounds, but most people want to have like an Apple Watch or, you know, something more attractive in that sense. But anyway, okay, that's just my opinion. So I'm not investing in Fitbit right now. If they continue to drop and they come out with some other announcements that sound kind of interesting to me, then I would look at them. And if that happens, I will update you guys on that. But as of right now, personally, I don't like Fitbit. I'm not touching them at the moment, but that could change. Okay, that's about it, guys. Sorry, I can't cover everything. I can't get super in detail because it'd be like a 1-hour video. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. And if you're new, please subscribe. If you like the video, please hit the like button because that really helps me out the most. And if you watch the video all the way through to this very moment in time, then you are, I would say you're like Fitbit's smartwatch, premium smartwatch, because it's the last hope for Fitbit, and you guys are like the last hope for my YouTube channel. So, so without you guys, it would just go down. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, beautiful day, and take care.